So why not just use TRT? Why use all of these peptides to do all this stuff? I mean, you got CJC, you got Ipamorelin, Tesmorelin, Cimarelin. Uh, I mean, there's just so many peptides that you can go look. Pretty much anything you want, there's a peptide for it. And, but at the same time, none of them are necessarily going to do what TRT does. So why are we messing around like this? I'm Jake Watkins, and this is my channel where I've created a niche called the high-tech lifestyle. That's my way of not niching down. I talk about whatever I want, which is going to be software development, fitness, cooking, dogs, motorcycles, and in this case, what's more high-tech than injecting yourself with research peptides, right? I've been using BPC 157 for nearly 2 years now. I just came off of using retatrutide, and I went from 246 pounds down to 210. My target was 215, which is what I'm more or less at now. It's an entire different set of videos we'll be doing as I fight to not regain the weight. But what brings this whole discussion of TRT and peptides into focus is, well, where I'm at right now. So in losing the weight, I lost a little muscle mass, not a huge amount, but a little. And I want to regain strength. And in particular, I want to recomp. My goal is to hit about a 15% body fat. And so I've come up with this, whole stack of using MOTS-c or MOTS-c and CJC and Ipamorelin to basically rebuild my strength and get my lifts to where I want them to be. And I was having a discussion with one of my friends at CrossFit. He's playing around with peptides also, and he just was like, why not just get on TRT? And I actually have an answer to that. And if you'll bear with me as I try not to ramble, I'll explain it to you. So we'll start off with TRT. TRT, basically, TRT and steroids, same thing. The only difference between the two is the intent. With TRT, you're just trying to get normal levels of testosterone, which should be from 750 to 950 or so, 1,000 at the top end. With steroids, you're going up above 900. Some people, I don't even know how high. I've not looked into it that much. I just know if you're just getting 800 on your testosterone, you're not doing enough for steroid use. And the point of steroids is to massively grow your body. A guy getting on TRT, and I know people who legitimately need TRT. They're just shooting to get into the normal reference range. So for me, that's off the books. I'm blessed. My testosterone bounces between 500 and mid 700s. It's awesome, even at my age. Also has to do with the fact that I work out all the time. And that would help. When you start taking exogenous testosterone, you have this thing called homeostasis. Your body is going to respond to you taking that. And part of the thing it's going to do is it's going to tell your nuts to stop shipping testosterone. And if you do it long enough, your nuts stop working. That's not good. Cause infertility, I think possibly permanent. The other thing is estrogen starts going up. So then you have to start taking other medications to help balance that. And then you have the problem, I forget the term, but your blood essentially thickens. You start producing too much hemoglobin, which is kind of a mixed blessing. It's a lose-win type situation because the treatment for that is go donate blood. So on one hand, you have this problem. On the other hand, you're saving lives. Make of that what you will. But the thing is, when you start looking at TRT, you have to do all of this stuff. And really and truly, you ain't biohacking TRT on your own. You better get a doctor to help you or you'll probably kill yourself. So this is one where it's no wink, wink, nudge, nudge, get medical advice. This is no. You got to get medical advice. You need a doctor who knows what they're doing. And I'd say these crappy men's clinics in the strip malls, I'd shop around and do better. if I was going to do that. The thing that I see, and it's the same thing, HGH, it's an end product. HGH isn't as bad as TRT. And by bad, I just mean the side effects with TRT can be permanent. With HGH, if you're taking it, your body will stop producing it on its own. But when you stop taking it, your body will start making it again. The problem with TRT is your body may not start making it again on its own. There's an entire protocol. You can't just cold turkey off of TRT. You have to go through and titrate off, and there's other medications you take to restart systems, stuff like that. And it's complicated stuff. So all of that. And I'm not an expert. I've not done this stuff. I've read about it, I've looked at it, I've listened to people talking, and to me, it sounds like a huge headache. The peptides, on the other hand, the side effects are much milder. Your negative, oops, I screwed up, is probably not going to kill you. The Ipamorelin and CJC, you take too much of it, you'll get sore joints. You back it off, you're okay. If it's, hey, I've run out of money, short on rent this month, you can go off of the Ipamorelin and the CJC with no side effects. It's not gonna, you're not gonna crash. There's nothing bad. Not recommended. You can kind of get away with biohacking this stuff a bit more than what should be done with something like HGH or TRT, because you can get the stuff off of the online places, right? And people are doing that, and they're figuring out what their dosages are. You're better off talking with a doctor and working with them, because one of the things that I always wonder about is a dose for me, say with Ipamorelin, I'll do 0.3 milligrams once a day through the week and then take the weekend off. I weigh 215 pounds. What if you weigh 180? Is that 0.3 good for you? Or should you take less? If you weigh 300 pounds, should you take more? I don't know. That's why you talk to a doctor and you figure out what your dose should be. So what this for me comes down to is my philosophy, and what kind of drives my decision making with this stuff is I want to work with my body. That's the appeal to me of peptides, is in general, peptides signal to your body to do things. It's like programming. It's like, okay, here's the CJC, tells your body start producing more HGH. Here's the Ipamorelin, which says start pumping it out. So you start using those two together and you get more HGH in your body, which should end up with you producing more IGF-1, which then helps you build more muscle. Which again, that's the reason it's such a far chain down to get to what you really want, more muscle, whereas TRT pretty much just goes straight to the muscle. But on the other hand, I don't have the negative side effects to deal with in this case. Can I build myself as big as I could if I got onto TRT or flat out just was doing steroids? No, you're not going to get that big, but you can make yourself look damn good this way. The MOTS-c, with the energy that it produces, and as I'm working with it, I can work out harder, longer while I'm on it, which means I can burn more fat, which means I can get leaner. I can achieve the recomp that I'm after. So, but I'm signaling to my body to do these things. I'm not just going, oh, here's the testosterone, go do that. Instead, I'm going to end up having more testosterone in my body because I'm working out harder, and the signaling that my body is going to produce is going to tell my body to produce more testosterone rather than just taking the testosterone. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. I said I wouldn't do that, but I say a lot of things. All right, so that was a lot. Point being, I would prefer to have my body produce whatever hormone it is I'm after instead of just taking that direct hormone. Whether it's HGH, IGF-1, or testosterone. When you take the end product directly, you are then setting up a fight with your body and your body's going to respond. Whereas if you take the peptide that signals to your body to produce that hormone, then you have less of a battle with your body. Yes, you still need to cycle on and off, because after a while your body stops listening to that signal because you're overwhelming it. Homeostasis is still there. You can't completely. It's like Full Metal Alchemist, equivalent exchange going on. Up to you. And as usual with this type of stuff, you really should be talking to a doctor, and I'd say in addition to a doctor, I would find a coach who has worked with enhanced athletes, because there's going to be details that I'm not aware of. But there's stuff like you can make your muscles stronger faster than your tendons get stronger, and that can create some really nasty business. I know some guys at the gym who have torn things because they went off and did stuff. And that's where having a coach who knows what they're doing, guiding you, is really beneficial. Anyway, so if you're interested, my journey with retatrutide, here's me getting off of it and what I think what I should have been doing while I was on it. So click there. This video is about my workflow that I've been developing using AI. And so, like I said, high tech, I talk about what I want, and it's all going to be high tech stuff. I'm going to wish you a good evening, and I'll see you next time.